Good morning, everyone. As said by Andreas, my name is Jan Reinhardt, and I'm working for Essentia, which is the Belgian Chemical Employers Federation. I am a senior advisor on labor market, education, and lifelong learning issues. With everything we've heard yesterday and this morning, it won't be a big surprise that at a sectoral level, the Belgian chemical industry, the demographic situation is concerning us as well. So the social partners in Belgium have set up several actions in the field of education, training and lifelong learning, and now the key question is, will this be an answer to the demographic challenge in the Belgian chemical industry? I want to discuss three themes with you today. First of all, and really in 2 minutes, I'm going to give you a little impression of what Essentia is. But the main part of the presentation will try to give you a view on how big our challenge is regarding the demographic change. And of course, what are the actions that we've taken to find solutions? Because just sit down and hope that in the end all the problems will disappear doesn't seem the right strategy to follow. So can we fix it is the last part. Yes, we can. At least we believe so. Let's talk about Essentia first. Essentia is the Belgian Employers Federation for the chemicals, plastics and life sciences sector. It's a national federation that can still exist in Belgium, but that brings together 3 regional sections and 17 professional associations. We have approximately 800 members, which means that almost every chemical company in Belgium is a member of Essentia. 2 main activities, as always, when we're speaking about employers' federations: lobbying towards government, regional, national, European level, and of course, negotiating collective labor agreements with the unions. I just have to state that the majority of the chemical companies in Belgium is located in the Flemish region, and that's important to keep in mind because some of the graphs I'm going to show you later on are valid only for Flanders. The mission of Essentia is to improve everyone's quality of life. And I can see you think that's quite ambitious. But it's our belief that chemistry and life sciences are essential to making the world's development sustainable. Just a few words about the Belgian chemical sector. As Professor Tivig yesterday already made clear, we are a major economic player in Belgium. Our turnover is the second largest of all industrial sectors in Belgium, and even more important, we take into account half of the research and development expenditures of the private sector. There are approximately 91,000 people working in our sector, and indirectly we can add another 150,000 indirect employment. Think about maintenance, accountancy, catering. Believe me, these are large numbers. Keep in mind that we only have 10 million people living in Belgium. Okay, let's first try to make clear how big our demographic problem is in Belgium. I've got a few slides coming up to give you a view of the current situation in Belgium and in Flanders, but I'm also going to try to look into the future, at least the demographic future. Let's have a look at the evolution of the number of jobs in Flanders. You can see at the upper line that it has been strongly increasing over the last 20 years. But unfortunately, that's not thanks to the industry. Year after year, the number of jobs in the industry in Belgium is decreasing, and it has become to a point that the general public view, which is unfortunately not denied by the government, is that industry is leaving Belgium. Some people even say that we should move towards a service-oriented economy. However, there's one exception, and luckily for us, it's the chemical industry, which is at a stable level over the last 20 years. It's going a little bit up, a little bit down, but in general we can say in 1997 the same number of jobs as in 2007. It's important to keep that in mind. In 2007 we examined our workers' population by age on a sectoral level for the first time. And what we saw, what we found out, almost filled us with joy, because we found the perfect age pyramid. The biggest age group was in the 40 till 44 years old, and the rest seemed beautifully divided over the younger ones and the older ones. A closer look, however, learned us that the older ones were bigger than the younger ones. So we wondered, is this a recent phenomenon? Or can we go look back in time? And so we did. We just went 10 years earlier to 1997, and our deeply joy disappeared quite rapidly. Because compared to 10 years ago, what did we find out? Our workers' population didn't change at all. They just got 10 years older, and the number of young people, of people younger than 40, dramatically fall. We became a little worried about the future, and a few other statistics didn't make us feel more comfortable. As Thierry Lefebvre already stated out this morning, we have a problem with the retirement age in Belgium. And for the chemical industry, this problem is urgent as well. The average age of retirement in our sector is 57.7 years old. It has been so for a few years, and it won't change in the future. But this means that within the next 5 years, we know that potentially 14.7% of our workers are about to retire. In absolute numbers, this means approximately 10,000 people that needs to be replaced within the next 5 years. Where are we going to find them? Well, that's a good question, because I don't know yet. As said before, Essentia is kind of an umbrella organization with a lot of subsectors, and the demographic challenge isn't the same for everyone. But this graph shows quite clearly that in all the subsectors, the population is aging. Base chemicals are almost in the worst situation. Only 55 workers are younger than 30 for every 100 that are elder than 50. And this is right at this moment. Before looking into the future, just a few conclusions already. Well, I said the average age of retirement remains stable and is low. Because of our age pyramid, we know that in the next 5 years, more than 10,000 people are potentially leaving. If we let aside technological evolution, we can state that unchanging need for labor force means a high degree for replacement. We're not going to be able to do the same work with significantly lower number of people. We are a stable sector. Our number of jobs has remained the same over the years, so the grass isn't always greener on the other side. We even call a chemical company sometimes an iron cage, a golden cage, excuse me. Once you get in, you never go out, unless to retire, of course. We had a stable demographic flow in the past. There are reasons to believe that it will remain the same in the future. This means that the sense of urgency is certainly there. And of course, this has a large impact on the wages, because in Belgium, an elderly worker is more expensive than the younger one. And as Yves from IBM yesterday, from IBM, already said, 80% of the knowledge is with the worker today and hasn't been stored yet. So we think companies will have to invest hugely into knowledge transfer and knowledge sharing for the future. Now, together with the Catholic University of Leuven, the social partners set up a model to predict how the sectoral age pyramid would look like in 2017. And this was the result. The biggest age group, and it seems almost like a copy of the slide BASF showed us half an hour ago. The biggest age group in 2017, so even before 2020 in Belgium, will be between 50 and 54 years old. And the number of youngsters, and that's as important, that's important as well, the number of youngsters will have fallen to a dramatically low level. Just a few numbers. If these three conclusions or these three conditions are fulfilled, then the number of 50 plus in 2017 will be 26% of the sectoral employment, which is only 19% right now. And the employment in the age category 18 till 29 will have to increase hugely to bring everything in balance again. Now, is this prediction true? Well, I don't know for sure, but based on what we know about the past and the stable, predictable evolution in our sector, we almost for certainly think this will be the case. Unless, of course, we react in an appropriate way. Now, if everything I've told before was a little bit too technical or too much numbers, I've put in a slide in the presentation that should make things a little bit more clear. And here you can have a good view on how the average chemical worker looked like in 1997, how he was looking in 2017, and how he will be looking in 2017 if we don't react in an appropriate way. So we are at the final part of the presentation now. We know there is going to be a demographic challenge in the chemical industry in Belgium. How are we going to cope with it? Well, first of all, the social partners decided to invest massively into our educational system. Because, of course, part of the solution to our demographic problem is to have more young people coming to our sector, but not everyone can come without conditions, so therefore we need to be more young people doing technical and scientific studies in Belgium. We have developed some kind of a mission statement. You can read it there. But more important is, how do we bring this into practice? We've set up a number of actions that created some kind of a chain. And the main idea of the chain is that we want to be present at all levels during a career at school. And when I say all levels, I really mean all levels, starting in primary school, over all the grades in secondary school, even into higher education. In primary school in Belgium, we know, and that's a fact, that teachers there don't know that much about techniques, don't know that much about science, so we thought we must help them. We created a project which is called Cool with Chemistry, which starts with a workshop for the teachers. So kind of train the trainer. Teachers come, and once they follow the workshop, they get all the goods which are necessary to start with the project. The purpose is that in class, the students, or the children at that age, are starting up their own chemical company, and they are producing chemical goods as well. They make shampoo, hair gel, etc. But they also have to nominate a chief scientist, a production manager, a commercial manager, and in the end, what will happen, they have to sell what they've produced. They earn money, and they can use the money to buy new raw materials for the next year. So it's something which is self-fulfilling. Now, is this a success? Well, at this moment, more than 1,000 primary schools, on a total of 2,300 in Flanders, are participating in the project. So we think it's a success. We're translating it into French right now to use it in Wallonia as well. And in Holland, they've copied the project, and it's used in their educational system as well. So it's something which works. We have developed that together with BASF.